Yep, so we're going with the sense of hearing this time. Sorry, I got all kind of thrown off, so I'm just getting everything kind of back to normal. Okay, we're good. Just doing a test. Okay, I can see it. Perfect. Let's get back into this. Sense of hearing. The Orca begin probing the girl with the tips of their noses. The girl provides no resistance, her mouth flapping open and closed. This is bad. I have to. Small but sharp teeth peek out from the small opening in the Orca's mouth. The tips of its teeth seem to sparkle by pulse quickens. There's no time left to test another method. I have to find some sort of solution from within the machine right in front of me. Speaker. I discover the volume setting on the liquid crystal display, and then hazily recall something inside of my mind. Sound. Ultrasonic waves. Their sense of hearing. I remember something I saw on TV about orca and their environment. Dolphins, whales, and other similar species use sound for communication. The various species make noise and can comprehend that sound. They are creatures with excellent hearing. Anything's fine, just no noise. That's my only hope, I think. If I can make a loud enough sound, I can probably repel the orca. Setting aside my feelings of impatience, I set the volume as high as possible. All that's left is where the playback comes from. I wonder where the sound comes out. Huh. At that moment, chills run down my spine. The girl and the three orcas are in the periphery of my vision. Then I wonder what in the world it was that just brushed against my spine. Could it have been? Despite trying to keep it under control, my heartbeat has rapidly increased. Sweat drips from my forehead. There's only one more orca here now. Or there's one more orca here now. 4 in total. Huh? As I realize what is happening, I suddenly feel my legs floating. Not just that, but suddenly my entire body is floating about. No, there's no way I could be floating in midair. My body has taken on buoyancy and is floating. I try to speak, but salty water flows down into my throat. This is underwater. Without realizing it, I've ended up in the ocean. Unable to breathe, I'm suffocating. This is bad. This is bad. Not only does it seem that I will drown, but the orcas are at my back. My eyes have finally grasped their enormous stature. On the other hand, the backdrop of the basement has disappeared. The computer and machines. I can no longer see any of it. It's no good if things stay as they are. I'll be attacked. I'll become their orca's helpless prey. My hands wriggle about and seize a long, narrow pole. Okay, good. It's now shown me as properly online. As I'm prodded by the tip of the large orca's nose, my body gives a violent shake. The giant orca has the intensity of a semi-truck. The force of being pushed causes the pole I grabbed to spin about. The orca opens its mouth right before my eyes. The fangs, which I've only seen from a distance, seem very large at point-blank range. No. No. Pulling my body back, I begin to float slightly away from the orca. The velocity in which I'm floating backwards is still much slower than the speed of the orca's approach. As I'm trying to use the pole, I'm holding my right hand as an axis. It begins to spin, falling victim to the current created by the orca's movement. I lose hold of the pole. An orca approaches from the front, seizing me. Oh. Give me a second. That is too much. I'm gonna mute it for all of you. Just as the orca's fangs raise my head, a screeching, keen sound reverberates. Kya, okay, it stopped. My body hits the hard floor with a thump. With hard, ragged gasps, I realize I can breathe. What? The seawater that once surrounds me is now gone. I am once again in the place with all the machines. As if a filter had been placed over my ears, I cannot hear clearly. Strange. More importantly, that girl. There is nothing where my eyes land. Seeing that a shadow has fallen over me, I look over my shoulder. The girl from earlier is touching the machine. It seems as if she is talking, but I can't understand what she is saying because I cannot hear. As if someone has covered my ears. On the top of the computer is a microphone, spun around. It's a type connected directly to a machine. Right. I accidentally... The howling and clicking sound. You may... A bit of a... Hearing. As the filter over my ears fade, I am able to understand the girl's words. The clicking sound, the ultrasonic waves the orca emit. The loud volume of the sound probably repelled the orca. The illusion of being in the water is also gone. Somehow we've seemed to escape danger. As I stand up, I start to feel relieved. Good. Don't start feeling relieved on your own. If you look at the big picture, our situation hasn't changed all that much. Huh? Mari. What did you say? Long hair and a bit shorter than I didn't realize it earlier, but she has a look of my missing little sister from behind. Her hairstyle and color are different, but something about her makes me feel nostalgic. The girl turns away from the machine and looks back at me. Her eyes are the same color as Mari's, after all. If Mari had continued to grow, she would surely look like this. If you're gonna cause a disturbance, don't involve me. Well then. Wait a second. I refuse. With no concern for me, the girl begins to walk away. She must know something. My intuition tugs at me. Wiping the dust off my butt, I follow after her. It isn't that I'm trying to cause a disturbance. If I truly believe this girl to be Mari, then I may have to deny what I see before me. I only want to speak with the girl. However, in spite of these thoughts, my words do not come out. I'm searching for my little sister who went missing here 5 years ago. You look a lot like her, that's all. So that's why you saved me then? No, that's not it. It's just... you were in danger, so... I don't get it. Well then, tell me what you know about this manned aquarium. Because my little sister and my friend, Mari and Himeno, I want to save them. Himeno, the girl from earlier. You're able to pull yourself together then. The girl stops walking for a bit. In that moment of inaction, I am able to reach her side with small steps. Giving me a sideways glance, the girl speaks quietly. I'll pay back my debt now. Debt? The debt I owe you for saving me. I don't see it as something you have to pay back at all. I think it is. Because I don't know whether you or I will die. I should pay it back while we're still alive. So within this malicious man aquarium. Malicious man aquarium. The place where we're standing. It was born from an incident 5 years ago. A malicious alternate dimension existing outside the regular one. If it weren't, such bizarre phenomenon wouldn't occur. Malicious? Alternate dimensions? What exactly do you mean? If I could explain it, I wouldn't be having all this trouble. The girl says curtly, and just like that turns around. Her words only deepen this mystery further. This alternate dimension world, could it be like a parallel world Hideyoshi-san was talking about? Paying no heed to my being deep in thought, the girl starts walking again. Wait, at any rate, could we at least say we're trapped in this aquarium? To my knowledge, though I haven't tested that theory. I'm getting out of here, together with someone precious to me, because I will save Himeno. Do what you want. Don't you want to escape as well? If you do, come with me or let's go together. So come with me if you want to live, or let's go together if you want to live. Decisions in the chat. 60 seconds starts now. I have a feeling it's probably the same thing in both choices. So with that, I'm gonna go with let's go together. We'll go together. There's no need. I don't want to run away from this place. The girl rejects my proposition flat out, giving the impression that she would never accept. Quickening her pace, she walks back in the direction of the previous room. But I was planning to go this way too. That's right. In the end, moving forward means our destinations are the same. Moving at a trot, I follow the girl. We got a partner without her even wanting it. There are stairs at the end of the underground passage. Climbing those stairs leads to a waiting room for staff. According to the map, it seems this waiting room is connected to the passageway where Hideyoshi-san went crazy. However, I cannot hear any particular strange sounds. There are various things scattered about this room, and they seem to have been left this way for some time, but it doesn't appear to be in disrepair the way the stage is. Why are you following me? Because, in order to find the clues to escaping from this aquarium, I have to keep moving forward. Is that so? By the way, can you tell me your name? If you're gonna ask someone your name, if you're gonna ask someone their name, you should give yours first. Right. I'm Nakanome Mayumi. I'm usually called Mayu. How about you? Oops. There's no need for me to tell you. The girl mixes a sigh in with this brief conversation. Thinking that I'm the only one who feels like sighing, somehow the conversation has come to a close. Though her attitude towards me is cold, she's shown no outright aggression, reassuring me that I'm no longer alone. It feels like someone was here recently. I mutter. I'm spotting someone's clothes and partially consumed sports drink. As if having reached the same conclusion, the girl returns my glance. In this aquarium, each room is completely different, being completely ruined or being in use like this room. You think so too, then? She's surprisingly receptive to what I said. Come on. My mouse is being surprisingly unreceptive. The girl sits down on the sofa in the staff room, motioning for me to sit opposite her. She seems to be telling me she wants to talk everything over thoroughly. The phenomena of Manton Aquarium. You mentioned how every room is different, but I think every room you take is different. What exactly do you mean? I hoped you'd be shorter, but you're a blockhead after all? You've also experienced opening a door to find things have changed, am I wrong? Yeah, I have. Things like hearing strange voices or having a normal person go crazy. The girl places her hand on her chin, a serious expression appearing on her face. I didn't think that she would listen to what I had to say at all, but apparently Manton Aquarium is the exception. You said also. Does that mean you have as well? When I entered one room, I was choked by the stench. I thought it was from the wow, what the fuck? Let's try that again, Ryan. When I entered one room, I was choked by the stench. I thought it was from the tanks not being filtered, but no matter how many rooms I passed through, I realized the situation of each room was completely different. It was the same for me. Thinking I didn't go completely grasp the situation, I tried to go back the way I came. When I did so, the situation was completely different the first and second time around. At first, the fish in the stinky tanks were swimming about. Do you get it? When you open the door, the circumstances of the room change? At the very least, the doors are the key. After hearing your story, I'm convinced. After saying this, the girl rises and adjusts the hem of her skirt. Well, I'll be off. Wait a minute. Shouldn't we share information? Like, what things are like in each area? There's no need. It changes every time you open a door, so all of our experience up to this point are in the past. With that cold attitude, the girl puts her hands on the exit door. Somehow I feel that trying to stop this girl from going out alone is pointless. Slumping my shoulders with the realization that I will once again be alone, I discover a book lying on the sofa. Where you were sitting just now, is that a diary? A diary? Could that belong to one of the staff of Manton Aquarium? The girl reacts with sudden interest and returns to the spot facing me. Somehow, just as the girl said, it seems to be the diary of a Manton Aquarium staff member. A bit larger than a paperback, it's similar to a pocket notebook. Let me see it. Ah. The girl takes the diary from my hands and opens it. This date is from 5 years ago. From 5 years ago? 5 years ago. The date Mari went missing and that the incident the girl mentioned occurred. Manton Aquarium was the thing these two incidents had in common. This diary has something important written inside. That's what my intuition is telling me. I want to look too. Pulling back the girl's arms as she reads the diary on her own, I forced my way in so I could peek at it as well. In the beginning, it's all just a simple description of this person's job. I'm interested in how the fish are cared for and the hidden workings of the aquarium, but now is not the time. The girl flips through the book, looking for important information. This is what I want as well. This is... Let's take our time going to this part. The date is one I recognize. A cold day, halfway through January. The date of my first visit to Manton Aquarium, the day of destiny. There's been an accident, a big one. The fish in deep sea fish booth died due to an error in the pressure control valve, and in the ensuing panic, Director Sakuragi died as problem with the machinery increased. The loan of the deep sea fish booth hasn't even been paid off yet, but tomorrow it will be closed down right away. It's being called a closure, but the staff is being called together. I'm so down. I'm moving on. Okay. The girl continues flipping through the diary. Could this director's death have been the incident the girl is talking about? For some time after that entry, it seems to be just his grumblings. Evidently, the girl is skipping over these parts. Seems this employee was going through some tough times. It's been 3 months since the day since he started operating in the deep sea fish booth closed down. Customer traffic has decreased, even though we do have a tunnel tank and jellyfish booth. Sorry, 1 second. Oops. Just give me one moment. No, completely rude for me to be doing this, but I just gotta check something. Okay, we're fine. Thanks to it being promoted as a date spot, the amount of couples coming is increasing. Our bonuses have probably been cut, but it seems we can continue without losing any staff. Finally, an optimistic entry. 3 months since the accident. For a recovery, it happened pretty fast. I don't think I was as positive as he was 3 months ago 3 months after Mari disappeared. The girl finally begins to read on in the diary. After a month passes in the diary, the speed for which she flips through the pages slows down. Lately, strange rumors have begun to spread, like that the water in the tank turns to blood, or that the director's ghost swims about. They're urban legends, and I don't know who's spreading these rumors, but they seem to be popular amongst high school girls. Thanks to that, the number of high school girl customers is increasing. It's probably a one-time boom. Once the boom is over, there's no doubt that the number of customers will recede in contrast. They must have been around for 5 years, these rumors. The girl nods at my words. She still doesn't take her eyes off the diary. Though the rumors should be fading in obscurity, they seem to be steadily increasing in their grandeur. I've been asked things by girls like, the director was killed, right? It was a murder, right? That shouldn't be happening. Yeah, well, it's fine as long as the girls are cute. For a second, a scowl appears in the girl's face. This staff person's candid thoughts aren't exactly reassuring. It would probably be impossible for anyone to remain neutral about this, so I can sympathize with the girl's sullen expression. Even amongst the staff here, rumors have begun to spread. Even those who are decent adults are keeping them alive. I want Kazuki to stop with there's so many fishy things about the accident in the deep sea fish booth and playing detective. Wow. So I'm gonna wait till the next choice, and then I'll probably call it at that point. It's starting to get harder to read it all. The girl pauses briefly as she thinks something over, but when she realizes I'm looking at her, she flips the page noisily. That Kazuki, he's been out for 3 days now. He's pushed his luck too far by encouraging these rumors. It doesn't seem to be just someone skipping work. The girl's puzzled expression gives a hint of something more. That guy, ever since he came back, he's gotten weird. How are the fish? How's the ghost? I'm the only one who's actually listening to him. From here, the writing gets messy. It does. Don't play around. Stop messing with me. What's going on? Kazuki drowned to death in one of the tanks. I thought he'd been going too far with these rumors. But he was a good guy. Everyone else has started calling it a curse. What's going on, damn it? Again, someone died in Man Aquarium. And he was a person who was active in spreading the urban legend. With that, the rumors would become easier to swallow for children and adults. Something is weird. Lately, deaths among the creatures we have on display have increased. After all of our work to recover, management is hitting a slump again. The weird rumors aren't going away either. Why can't I see the ghost of a girl inside the aquarium? It's so over the top, I don't get any of it. The two of us continue to read intently. Lately, I'm seeing fish everywhere. As if seeking prey, I have a voracious appetite. Come to think of it, I've started to think a rumor in particular might be true. After the closing of the exhibit, I've seen a girl with long hair. Even though it's June, she's wearing winter clothes. There's no doubt about that. What? Without my noticing, the word slips out. No, that's wrong. Denial appears in my mind. The girl notices I've fallen into a strange state, and she curtly says, "Concentrate." Either way, I'm already concentrating. I take a deep breath and steady my breathing, squinting to follow the words of the diary. I've gone crazier, many of them say. What's crazy about me, I haven't the slightest idea. This is an aquarium, so it shouldn't be weird for them to have fish everywhere. Look, even as I write this, they swim around me. There's clownfish. This is probably the same phenomenon as I experienced. Yeah. Fish swimming about, even in places with no water. It had to be connected with the phenomenon in the underground control room. Even with this girl and I having experienced being attacked ourselves, it feels I'm still resisting this for some reason. Lately, I feel like I'm going to drown. I wonder if my body is weakening. Nevertheless, everyone is so cruel. Even if I were to start drowning in this room, no one would help me. Drowning with no water there. That's... yes, the same phenomenon. And by this room, maybe. The room we were in right now, this staff room. I want to go ahead and quit, but I'm at my limits. Fish are swimming around everywhere. No matter where I go, I feel I'm drowning. And no matter what, no one believes me. Ever since Kazuki died, I'm miserable. The next entry is the last. Yeah, let's take a look. I wonder if my past life was as a fish. Recently, I feel no resistance in the water. I wonder what that means. Who knows? The girl closes the diary and places it on the table with a dull thud. The last entry in the diary was July 10th, around the same time of year as now. I wonder, what could have happened to the staff member after that? I somehow know the answer. Surely he met the same fate as the one called Kazuki. As I mull over my doubts, I notice a half-full plastic bottle on the table. This juice, the expiration date on it is from 4 years ago. There was a calendar on the other side, but it's also from 4 years ago. I thought this room seemed to have been recently in use, but it's the Man Aquarium from 4 years ago. 4 years ago? Yes, the prices in the pamphlet here are also 200 yen cheaper than they are now, so there's no doubt about it. Despite my lingering doubts, I believe what she says. Up to this point, I've seen time passing in a weird fashion here many times. Rather than being in awe of the fact that we're in Man Aquarium long ago, I'm more caught up in the realization of how many years have passed. Once, 4 years ago, Man Aquarium closed for about half a year. It was right about July. Surely that's when this employee died. I had no idea. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal. There are other things for people to do for fun. Anyway, the current urban legends about Man Aquarium probably came from this period, and they aren't merely rumors. You're saying that there could be others that wound up in similar circumstances to ours? Yes. Moreover, there may be someone who got out of Manton Aquarium. There has to be a clue somewhere after all. The diary hints at that. However, this diary holds one more possibility. That 3-day absence from work after that disappearance. The person called Kazuki had an accident and died. Kazuki had returned to the real world, but was unable to live on peacefully. There was a stinging sensation inside of me. The reason we came to Manton Aquarium was because of Himeno's ghost story. Could that have also been someone who returned from Manton Aquarium? The story's content was different, but the result was the same. The full moon in red water could be considered a dramatization of an urban legend. There's something that's bothering me. It's a ghost story I've heard from Himeno. Ghost story? Having caught the girl's attention, I tell her the story as we sit. I forget some of the finer details and mix up the order, but I give her the same general story. Oops. You heard the story from that girl Himeno? You don't know any more details? That's all I've heard. Himeno insisted it's a rumor, so she probably doesn't know any further details either. I see. By any chance, have you heard this story as well? Some time passes, but the girl still doesn't say anything on the subject. The girl's expression seems a little different than it has up to now, but I cannot get a deeper read on it. Not allowing the silence to continue much longer, the girl speaks without looking at me. Thinking about it won't do any good. Well, I'm going. Wait, didn't I tell you? I have no desire to run from Manton Aquarium. The girl says this over her shoulder, pushing her hand on the door of the staff room. According to the map, the side the girl exits from leads to the gate. The girl having turned down my request for company. I can see she no longer is going to stop to help me, so I don't try to make her. And now I am alone once again. This room has neither sound of the machine nor that of ventilation fans, so I can hear the beating of my own timid heart. I remember another rumor the staff member wrote in the diary. A girl with long hair and winter clothes. The girl was referred to as a ghost. She wasn't in the story Himeno told. What it may have hinted at was that Mari had already become a ghost, so the Mari that appeared before me was. One part of me agrees with that thinking, but another part of me rejects it. I am torn between the two, and the inside of my eyes grows hot. But there's no use thinking of it. I have to move forward. If I falter, nothing will change, right? I am alone again, but it isn't as if I know anything, or as if I don't know anything. It isn't as if I can't do anything. So I have to save Himeno, or I have to save Mari. I'm going to do a little bit of a timer. Himeno or Mari? Himeno being the friend, Mari being the sister who disappeared 5 years ago. Oh, and thank you for the follow, Shay. Really do appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. Hope you like weird and obscure games. No, Mari is a good choice. That's kind of where I was leaning, because Himeno we've already ran into earlier. And last time we saw her, she had blood coming out of her eyes, and she was barfing out nematodes. Oh, we got a split right now. We got a 50-50 Himeno and Mari. This game has 30 plus endings. 28 of those endings are bad. Himeno, okay. And that's my timer. So let's go with Himeno. Hey, Uber, you might be on the right route. What could happen is this could be a bad ending, and then you'd be right, and you can gloat it over everybody. So, thank you for hanging out, Akira. Have a good sleep because it's been a while. I know you did a 12-hour stream. How did that I assume went well? So let's do Himeno as everyone kind of voted for. That's right. I will save Himeno. I won't just say that she can probably be saved. Within this aquarium, I have to be determined. It went well. I only hung out for a little bit. I unfortunately just had a lot of kind of things going on today, with work and all that. But I'm glad your stream went well. I will listen to how it went tomorrow. The girl had steeled herself. Because she had no doubts, she seemed strong. I'll move on. Saying this, I reached for the door of the staff room. So there's also 4 endings that are considered true endings. So these paths might lead to just different true ends. Oh, also, I hope you all like potentially disturbing imagery and sound effects, because this game is a horror visual novel. That was definitely the first time we switched suites in 7th grade. Okay, who will I sit next to? Nakabe-san, was it? It's Nakanobe. When I first entered junior high, I didn't really make an effort to talk to any of my classmates, so I had no friends. Even now I have anxiety about talking to people I don't know, but it pales in comparison to the way it was a year before last. During free time, I would read books in the corner of the classroom. During lunchtime, I would slowly eat my lunch alone. That was how it was every day. Yeah. So, from what I understand, and I looked into this, from what I've seen, because I've experienced a couple bad ends, a lot of it seems to be more sound effects that are a little bit kind of on the gross side. I haven't seen a lot of, heavy gore, at least yet. But to give you an idea of things that I've done so far, I found myself in a room with a bunch of dead fish and a decapitated head for some reason. After that, I was in a room with a bunch of jellyfish tanks. All the jellyfish tanks ended up breaking and spilling to the ground. Got a bad ending for getting stung by a man-o-war. Then I got into another room where there were orcas swimming in the air. And I got a bad ending for stabbing one in the eye with a broom to kind of save this one person. And it ended up crushing me. So, yeah, there's a lot of that fun stuff. I knew how to keep myself occupied. Ah, sorry. By the way, Nakanomi-san, do you have low blood pressure? That's a weird question. No, not really. Well, I'm your neighbor now. Let's get to know each other. Himeno was the last one in the row closest to the window, and I was next to her. Himeno ended up with no one else to talk to, so she did all that she could to talk to me, or at least that's how I saw it. Ah, Mayu, your lunch is ground steak with cheese inside. I just love it. Let me have a little. Ah, my side dish. Okay, I'll give you the pork from my yakisoba bread, Mayu. No thanks. Jeez, quit being so picky, Mayu. Mayu? Yeah, Mayu. You're Mayumi-chan, right? So I thought I could call you Mayu. You remember my name. The exchange took place 2 days after our seats changed. I still hadn't opened my heart to Himeno. Undaunted by my curt manner, Himeno would do things like reach for my box lunch. Up to that point, I hadn't told her my first name, but Himeno called me Mayu. After that day, something changed. I would initiate conversation with Himeno, and even after that semester and the next seat change, Himeno would bring her lunch over and eat with me at my desk. Before I realized it, Himeno and I had become friends. The first time Himeno and I had ever argued was in the summer. Shall we see a documentary or a horror movie? It was a trivial matter, but it was important to us. After that, Himeno and I fought numerous times, but we made up just as many. And every time it rains, the ground hardens. Himeno, I muttered to myself. Even with today's argument, we made up. There was nothing else more important than Tamagawa Himeno, my own one and only best friend. My best friend. Yeah, that's right. No matter what, I will protect her. And there's our interstitial again. But yeah, the atmosphere and like world building is fantastic in this game. And I haven't done a visual novel on stream since Doki Doki Panic, so it's been interesting kind of getting back into that. Because that was, jeez, probably over a year ago now? Oh no, never mind. I just lied. I did The Shadows That Run Outside Our Car, which was a short visual novel. This one, as far as I understand, is more like 7 to 9 hours. And I've put in maybe 4 or 5 now. After I leave the staff room and walk for a bit, the entrance gate appears in my line of sight. I exit into a different place from the staff passageway I entered with Hiroshi-san. This aquarium has more back passages than I thought. Thinking it over, I almost walked the entire aquarium. The only places I haven't visited are places for authorized personnel only, and the closed-off deep-sea fish booth. Diagonally across this area is apparently an authorized personnel-only space, the director's office, reachable by going behind the Fish of the World booth. There's a map for authorized personnel to use hanging on the door to the staff room. If I head out from the tunnel tank, I can make out something of a shortcut, but I'm still afraid of the flying cutlass fish. Going through the door will probably cause the state of things to change, but I can't handle things getting as bad as the tank breaking or something like that again. If that's the case, I'll have to go by the jellyfish booth. In that room, even if the glass is broken, I know I can deal with it. If I walk carefully, I won't fall. I can't just loaf around here. Closing up the map, I begin and starting to walk. The Gate to Manton Aquarium appears in my line of sight. I wonder if I can get out this way. The question born from within me is a simple solution. That girl had said the aquarium was isolated in a different dimension, but she had also said that she had not tested that idea. I think I should try tossing something in, so I roll a bucket that had been knocked over. The bucket passes through the gate, and at the very center of the gate it disappears. It vanished. From there, I could see the Men East Building elevator. There might be some value in using my own body to test it. Alright, okay, I could try it, or okay, I will stop. Okay, I'll try it, or no, I should stop. Setting a timer, now. Now, I'm usually a no backseat gaming streamer, but visual novels, they're kind of their own thing. Especially if they're ones people haven't played. It's completely, something that sounds like the right answer isn't always the right answer. As I said, I stabbed an orca and thought that would be enough, but it ended up resulting in a crushing death. And of course, if the timer runs out without any answers, I just go ahead and pick one. I put a minute on there because it gives enough time for people to answer if they want to answer. Let's go with trying it. Let's save right here, just in case. In fact, let me do a hard save. There we go. Let's try it. I prepare myself and push the door, then push the door to the automatic turnstile with my hands. NVIDIA? What? For some time, my consciousness feels like it's gone hazy. When my head clears, I can hear the sound of chatter. Well, thank you for hanging out, albeit brief, Uber Bobby. Really do appreciate that. We'll be doing more of this game tomorrow. I stream from starting at 9 o'clock Eastern US time, so it is currently about midnight Eastern, just to give you kind of context. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. I will see you later. Could I be? What's wrong? This is Man Aquarium, isn't it? Yes, that's right. You can purchase tickets over there. Noticing that I look disoriented, the woman speaks to me in a kind voice. Her uniform is the same, but her manner is quite different from Saganuma-san. It's kind. Could it be? I had no room for any doubts. Numerous people are entering and exiting through the gate. I can't hear any strange screams either. I was able to get back. But I have no time for relief. There are some problems that remain unsolved. I'd like a return ticket. Please. I hold out my ticket and complete the re-entry procedure. I pass through the gate, and finally customers having their fill of the aquarium. The Fish of Tokyo Bay booth is exactly the same as it was before. I am able to pass through the tunnel tank normally. There's no danger of anything like the flying cutlass fish. In the Fish of the World booth, there are tons of brightly colored fish. There are no mummified dead bodies or fragments of destruction. The jellyfish booth is as pretty as ever. However, with no phenomena taking place, it only causes my uneasiness to grow. I can't get back. The fact that I came back but now can't return is quite a contradiction. But that's the way it is after all. I want to return to that Man Aquarium that's full of phenomena. A different dimension, side-by-side worlds, parallel worlds. And whatever they really are is irrelevant. I just want to return to Mano's side. What do I do? I run through the entire aquarium once. Even so, nothing happens. That Man Aquarium with the heavy atmosphere, it's gone away somewhere. Big sister? Oh, it's Mari. Mari? I'm aware that it's an auditory hallucination. I just wish that she could hear me. After that, I search for Mano until the building closes. But with a staff member hanging around me and urging me to go home, I'm finally forced out. Slumping my shoulders, I tell the police what happened. "5 days ago, Himeno's parents filed a missing persons report. Despite my frantic feelings, no news comes about Himeno. Ah, a clownfish. On my end, I haven't had any major accidents. In regards to myself, even outside the aquarium, I've begun to see fish. I trip over things that aren't there. I start to feel like I'm going to drown. Mom and everyone else are worried about me. For the past 3 days, it's been getting harder to breathe. It's hard to breathe. Finally, 1 week later, I'm in a bed. Yes, I've been admitted to a hospital near Manton. While the cause is unknown, my lungs seem to be failing. Now I can't breathe without a machine to assist me. I wonder how long I'll be hospitalized. As much as I love reading, I've grown tired of even that. From the hospital window, I can see the top of Manton East Building. Jimena. Even though I want to speak her name, my voice won't come out. My trachea is just too weak for it. If I can, I want to eat ice cream once more. My beloved cookies and cream with my beloved Jimena. The future of the reckless. So that's another bad end, I'm guessing? For busting my way through? Yep.